Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. This is Brent Bridgman and you're watching the JFL Boat Build Series right here. Alright, so we've done a lot of boats and I've been not able to edit a lot of videos for certain reasons, just because I'm busy and I've got to hire some help. So I have a new character coming to the channel. After I get back from California, I'm going to go visit my mom and dad, hopefully from the 15th to the 25th. So I might document some of the road trip. I'm going to stop at some cool places, eat some cool food, and, you know, enjoy 10 days off from the shop. As you can see, we're getting right back on the Cimarron. And this is the Bass Cat that came from Birmingham. So this is a new client that has multiple boats. So right now we're just doing the back corner. This just need a little corner section repaired. And then we're gonna put the brand new metal flakes here. It came with the boat. We're having to fix the trailer on it. And then this little Tahoe come in right here. This is just a real quick lake boat job. It had some chips and stuff on the bottom. So we're gonna get under there and block sand that right now. And then the Jeep is going to be leaving. I'm going to give the customer his money back. I did a lot of work to the frame, but it's taking up space for a boat. So let's face it, this is a boat shop, not a car shop. But there's the Corvette's coming in, that's different, it's fiberglass. But there's a new project looming, and I know that I hinted to it a couple times, but we are going to build this Hummer that I bought. This is going to tow the Ranger Z20RR. So what I don't like about these Hummers is this ugly front end, right? I cannot stand these front ends. To me, it's horrible. Not only that, look at this hood is built out of fiberglass. This whole entire hood tilts forward, so it's got a lot of glass damage, as you can see. So I'm like, well, if it's fiberglass, I can pretty much do whatever I want with it, right? Right. So what we're gonna do, this is crazy, and I've already got a bunch of people hating the idea, but I'm taking the 2025 Chevy 2500 heavy duty front end, and I'm going to graft it, and I'm going to take the rear of a 2500, tail lights, tailgate, and graft it into the back of the Hummer. And I've already started accumulating parts. That is the front end off a 2025 2500. I'm just lacking the headlights, which I'm waiting on. Tail lights should be here today or tomorrow. I've also got the chrome scoop, but I am going to build this front end onto the front of the Hummer, and then I'm going to graft in the quarter panels to accept the taillights from the 2500 HD, and then we're going to put the truck rear bumper on here, so this license plate area will go away. And I also got my personalized plates ordered. This is a temporary tag. Can anybody interpret what that says? For those that don't know, they wouldn't let me get ASS on the end because they said it was a bad word. So it says Holland Bass. So anyway, the Hummer is going to get a tail lift and a facelift when I get back from California. And then hopefully we will make it look good. And then we're going to pull the motor and transmission out of it, have it rebuilt. And then we will be ready to paint it. The paint I'm choosing is a Mazda Tri-Stage Candy Apple Red. So we're going to put that on there. And then I've got this boat to do when we get back. I just put it outside in the sun today. There's 3 boats in the shop that are leaving, so this goes in at night. But this is a Javelin. We are going to do the top cap interior and transom. As you can see back here, the transom is cracked. really bad. So we're going to pull the cap. We're also going to replace the floors with Kusa board, kind of like we did on the Bumblebee that we had in the other old shop. So anyway, I've located the Flake for this boat, and it's got like a dark green gel coat base, and then it's got like this teal flake that turns all different kinds of colors like a prismatic. So I already have the prismatic, and I've talked to my metal flake company, and the teal flake is pretty easy to get. That's 0.008 flake. So I got this cut and polished. As you can see right here, you can see your reflection. But I got to finish the rest of the sides, and I'm going to flip this over and get the top done. I'm trying to get this boat finished before the 15th. That way it can go home. This boat will be done in the next 7 days. We won't talk about my boat. And then this is leaving tomorrow. So 1, 2, 3 boats will be out of here. And then the Javelin will be in here. I'm waiting on a Bullet bass boat I wrote an estimate on. I also wrote 7 estimates yesterday. One was on a Stratos that got hit by a power company truck. Anyway, so we got lots going on here, and I just wanted to show you guys that the shop is super busy. We're ready to get this Jeep out of here, and we'll probably set the Corvette over here to do the wide body on the Corvette. So this is the welding corner, and so join me right now, and I'm going to show you guys how to do some fiberglass work. All right, everybody. I just got it unmasked, and the repaired area is fixed. The color is a little off because the boat is stained from the Tennessee River. As you can see down here, it's really brown. So the fresh gel coat. But other than that, it'll get stained again once it's on the water. But I fixed that spot right there. And also, customer didn't pay for it, but I also fixed that whole messed up 4-foot section. So anyway, I just unmasked it, and customer will be here in an hour and a half to pick it up. I've got a couple things to cover with everybody. So the blue Javelin left the shop, and the customer was super happy with it. I told him if there was anything that he wasn't happy with or anything that he wanted addressed, he could bring it back. I'm also hoping that it'll have me do the sides, because that boat would be just absolutely phenomenal. Plus, I wouldn't mind putting the Javelin logos in the side of that boat in metal flake. And I've never seen another one done like that. But it would be really cool to finish off that boat like that. So anyway, this ski boat is a 1985 Cimarron. You guys watched in very long episodes ago me put the Kusa board stringers, Kusa board floorboard, and then I have already made the gas tank pockets for it, which are finished over there. I'll show you them later. They still need to be black gel coated, but I'm going to do that after I install them. But anyway, let's get with it. I'm going to do a time lapse of me water sanding this by hand. I've already sanded it with the DA with 320. This boat has 5 heavy coats of 50% Duratec, 50% gel coat. So the 320 you have to be very careful with. You don't want to rub through. And then of course the phone rings while I'm trying to do this. Anyway, join me. We're going to do a time lapse right now. So I get these from Harbor Freight. This one used to have a hook, but it's perfect for cleaning the buffer pad what you want to do is make sure your buffer pad is on like midway, which on this thing would be basically 3.5. You want to pull the trigger, and you're just taking that dry compound out of the wool pad. For some reason, when it's fluffier, it works better. See how fluffy that is now? It took all the compound. If you're still picky about like that little spot, I just do that and then I run it again. You want to be careful because if you catch your shirt and this wraps up, it could hurt you. So we've seen that in 911 episode, right? But that was with a grinder and it cut my stomach. So if you haven't seen that, go back and watch that. So what we're going to do is we're going to hit this with the 05954 Super Duty rubbing compound by 3M. That's how we start. Then we're going to come on over to this 10 Polar Shine. This is also polishing compound 10, right? That's their rating. So they have a heavier compound, but this heavy compound, the 3M right there, works the best. So we're going to start out with that, and hopefully it doesn't get too noisy, but in order for me to narrate this properly, I'm going to have you guys follow along while I do this. So you want to make sure it's open. I'm trying for no bloopers this time. So that's about the size, half a hot dog. Anyway, I kind of just smeared around and then go forward on 3.5. Turn it up to 4. And you should start seeing a reflection of the buffer in the actual buffing area. Let me see if I can capture that for you guys. Hang on one second. Let's see if I can capture that for you without being in the way. Let's see if we can capture that. All right, so let me sit off to the side here so I'm not in your way. But you should start to see the reflection of the buffer and your hand. See there? So take a little bit more. Right? Like war paint. And I just kind of dap it around, then I go for it again. On 4. Make sure that your buffer rotates this way, right? Look. It's rotating that way. What you don't want to do is hold this edge because this has a sharp edge. So you want to drag this way so it's falling off the edge, not biting against it. Then you come up again, come up again, come up again, come up again. And then you want to cross it, cross. Because every time you're going over this, it's making it that much better. So anytime I get close to that edge, I make sure that the buffing pad is going off the edge, not digging against it. So now, what you got is you should have a really good reflection, which you do. So you can see the buffer in there. See that? You can see your hand. It's throwing it off a little bit because you got all these chrome metal flakes, so it's looking a little blurry, but I guarantee you it's not. I can see my fingernail in there. And then, like I said, you can, if you hold this lettering up, you can see the lettering in there. See that? So you want to do that, and then you grab your Polar Shine, which this is premature because usually I just buff across the whole thing. Got to open it. There's our first blooper for the day. And I just put a little bit of that. I'm using the same pad, and I'm not going to brush it off because that's also a compound, just a finer compound. So here we go. On 4. So it's actually a rubbing compound, but it's a finer. And what you're after here is how you're getting it shiny is taking out the scratches from the sandpaper and blending it together. It's actually just all buffing compound is a finer sandpaper but liquid, if that makes any sense. When you drag this buffer across there, it's like having like 10,000 grit sandpaper, and that's how you're getting a shine on that sandpaper. So now you can really see the buffer in that. See that? So that's how you know. And plus, if you looked at it from the side, it's just super shiny. So we'll continue that. I'll put you guys on a time lapse. I just wanted to go over the steps of the buffing compound. After the buffing compound, we would of course hit it with a it's called ultra cutting cream, which is just like a more micro polish made by Presta. This stuff works pretty good, and that will be done on this other, it's a little bit finer white wool pad. And then when that goes off there, we do a foam pad with the ultra polish, and then we follow behind by hand with the fast wax, and we wax it on and we wipe it off. Let me show you guys from the other angle how that looks. So if you come up to it, you can see the shop floor. See there? You can see there. You'll be able to see the chair. So you can see the chair. It's kind of concaved, but it's hard to see. Let me see if I can put my hand down here. Let's see my hand. You can even see the bends in my fingers. So it's just hard with metal flake, but you can see what I'm talking about. So that's what you want. So I'll put you guys on a time lapse, and we'll buff the back of this, and then we got to go down this whole side doing the same procedure. So we did this one last night all the way down. So the boat shiny all the way up to the front, as you can see. You can see the sky, the clouds, the other shop across the way. So that's the gravel parking lot. So yeah, this thing will be really shiny out there. So just real hard with grays and silvers to see the reflection, unlike the blue Javelin where you could see all the reflection. So let's go on that time lapse right now. All right, so the whole back of the boat took me roughly an hour and a half. So now we're going to repeat the cycle down the whole side. So we'll come in here with 600, 800, 1200, 1500, and then 2000 by hand, all by hand. And then we'll come through with the buffer and we'll buff it out. And then I'm hoping that today, this evening, we'll be able to get this boat turned over. If not, we'll turn it over first thing in the morning. That way we can start prepping and doing the body work on the top. I'd like to get this thing sprayed possibly tomorrow. If not, we'll spray it on Thursday. And then once it's sprayed, it can be curing. Then I'll come in, finish the bass cat. And then after the bass cat body work and flake and all that stuff sprayed, it'll be curing. And then I can get on the trailer. I got to build a jig for the trailer, and then get ready to install some new rails on the bass cat trailer. The paint store has my paint matched for it. I just got to go pick it up, but I want to bring in the rails first so they can tint it if they need to. So when I get the damaged rails cut out, I'll take those down to the paint store, and then I'll make sure that the tone is just exactly right. Plus they want to match the pinstripe. I have to get an acrylic enamel for that. I'll be hand pinstriping that. I'll show you guys how to do that. But anyway, I will put this on a time lapse because these tend to be a little bit boring. But this right here is finished in 320 right now with a DA. But I knew I had 6 layers of clear gel coat on here, and that was a 50-50 ratio. So 50% Duratec, 50% gel coat. And then, sorry, my microphone fell. But anyway, so we're going to get right on this. Be right back.
You don't know what you just did. 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 Saw your phone light up at 1 a.m. Thought you were asleep, but not again, not again. Now I'm scrolling through your DMs, friend. Oh yeah. This is where your little story ends. It's over. I was super chill, I played it right. So right.